The faint scent of cedar still lingered around my bedroom closet, a quiet reminder of the years my suits had hung there, neatly pressed and ready for the life I once lived. I slipped my fingers under the knot of my tie, tightening it with a familiar, steady pull I'd perfected over decades. A simple Friday ritual. At 68, small routines feel like anchors, gentle proof that the world still makes sense. The tie was a deep navy, threaded with soft streaks of silver. Eleanor had bought it for me one Christmas long ago. I still remembered the way her face lit up when I tried it on, how she laughed and said it matched the gray creeping into my hair. Even now, 2 years since she left this world, that memory still wrapped itself around my heart with a quiet ache. The house had become far too big without her warmth, too silent without her footsteps. But I kept the traditions, the little promises she'd loved, dressing well, showing up, staying connected to our daughter Jessica. I walked down the hallway, my shoes tapping lightly on the oak floors we had chosen together. On the entry table sat a framed photo of Eleanor, her smile captured forever. I paused, as I always did, and gently straightened the frame. Heading over to Jessica's, I whispered, "I'll tell you all about Leo's game when I'm back." Maybe it was silly talking to a picture, but the photograph never reminded me that grief made a man strange. I reached for my charcoal suit jacket, my Friday dinner jacket, as Eleanor used to call it. I had just slipped one arm inside when my phone vibrated on the table beside me. Instinctively, I glanced at the screen, expecting Jessica's usual message about dessert. But the name was not hers. It was Sam Chin, my lawyer of 30 years, a man who knew me almost as well as family. The message was short, only 5 words, yet it hit me like a falling beam. "Call me immediately. It's urgent." A cold weight settled in my gut. Sam didn't use the word urgent unless the earth was cracking open beneath his feet. My mind leapt to the worst possibilities. Something happened to him, his wife, their children. With clumsy fingers, I tapped his name. He picked up on the second ring, but it wasn't the voice of a man in distress. It was worse controlled. Low, stripped of every trace of warmth. "David," he said quietly, "are you alone?" "Yes," I replied, lowering myself onto the bench beside the door. "I was just about to leave for Jessica's. Sam, what's going on? Are you all right?" "I'm fine," he answered, but the words fell flat, like they'd been forced out. "Listen carefully. Are you sitting down?" My pulse quickened. "I'm seated," I said. "Sam, you're scaring me." A crackle of breath came through the line. "I should have called sooner. I've been going through your estate updates from 6 months ago. As part of that, I requested comprehensive statements from your retirement accounts, brokerage portfolio, everything." A long pause. "David, something's wrong. Very wrong." My mind scrambled through possibilities. "Wrong? What do you mean wrong?" "Jessica sends me my quarterly statements. The numbers look fine. Stable." Sam exhaled a slow, pained breath. "Those reports she sends you, David, they're fake." The room tilted. "Fake? They're doctored PDFs," he said. "The real bank statements tell a completely different story." A metallic taste pooled in my mouth. "I don't understand," I muttered. "What are you talking about?" "Over the last 2 years," he said grimly. "Since Eleanor passed, someone has been draining your accounts. Systematically, your brokerage portfolio is almost empty. Your retirement fund has been nearly wiped out. The $3 million you retired with, it's nearly gone." My breath caught. $3 million. 40 years of work. Every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice Eleanor and I had made so our family would never struggle. "Gone? That's impossible," I whispered. "No one has access to those accounts. No one but me." "Not exactly," Sam said softly. "Someone else does. The person you granted durable power of attorney to at the hospital, when Eleanor's health declined." My heart stopped. He didn't need to say the name. There was only one person I had trusted that deeply. The person I was supposed to have dinner with in less than an hour. Sam swallowed hard. "David, it's Jessica. She's the one taking your money." The jacket slipped from my hand. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees, the hardwood floor blurring beneath me as the world caved in. "Not my daughter. Not the little girl who used to fall asleep on my chest during thunderstorms. Not the young woman I helped through college. Not the girl whose wedding I paid for with pride swelling in my chest. My voice cracked. No, Sam. Not Jessica. Not my daughter. He didn't respond. His silence said enough. Then his voice came back firm, urgent. David, listen to me. Do not confront her. Do not cancel dinner. Do not act strange. She's been hiding this for 2 years. If she suspects, you know, she will move whatever's left and cover her tracks. You must go. Smile. Eat. Talk about Leo. Pretend nothing is wrong. My hand shook around the phone. From this moment, Sam said, you are not just my friend. You are my client. And we are at war. A war she doesn't know has begun. The word war echoed in my mind. I wasn't a man built for war. I built bridges, not battle plans. But beneath the heartbreak, something cold and steady formed an engineer's focus. A clarity born from devastation. I stood, looked in the hallway mirror, and barely recognized the man staring back. An older man, broken, wounded, trembling. That man wouldn't survive what was coming. So I pushed him deep inside. I understand, I said quietly. The performance starts now. I hung up the phone. Then I picked up my jacket, slipped it on, straightened the lapels, and stepped out into the cool evening air, leaving behind the man I used to be. The drive to Jessica's neighborhood felt unreal, like I was drifting through a world I had built but no longer belonged to. The houses stood tall and perfectly aligned, each one a polished statement of comfort and success. Jessica's home, the largest on the block, glowed softly behind its manicured hedges. A modern palace of white stone and glass. It looked beautiful, impressive, proud. And now I knew exactly whose money had built it. Mine. The automated gates slid open soundlessly as I pulled into the sweeping driveway. The house's lights illuminated the polished pavement, a silent reminder of everything I had unknowingly paid for. Tom was already at the door as I stepped out of the car. David, he boomed, giving me a firm slap on the shoulder. His cashmere sweater probably cost more than my monthly groceries. Good to see you, sir. You too, Tom, I replied, my voice steady. Too steady. My smile felt fragile, like it would shatter if I breathed too deeply. Inside, the foyer opened into a 2-story atrium of gleaming marble floors, framed by a chandelier that shimmered like a floating constellation. The air smelled faintly of lilies and polished wood, curated, controlled, perfect. My eyes traced the details, the imported marble, the designer furniture, the custom artwork. None of it belonged to me, but all of it came from me. Jessica appeared from the living room, wearing a cream-colored silk dress, her smile bright and polished. Dad, she said, kissing my cheek. You made it. Her embrace was brief and cool, a gesture more crafted than heartfelt. I felt the pressure of her diamond bracelet against my back. I recognized the brand. I recognized the price. And I realized I had paid for that too. She pulled back and studied my face with a feigned concern. You look a little tired. Everything okay? Yes, I said, forcing ease into my voice. Just a long week. She nodded and led me into the living room, a glossy open space overlooking an infinity pool that mirrored the fading Denver skyline. A massive abstract painting dominated one wall, one she had proudly shown me in a gallery months ago. I remembered its price tag, a 6-figure purchase. Another knife. Tom handed me a glass of sparkling water. Got a new car, he said casually, pointing toward the driveway. A Porsche. Drives like a dream. Congratulations, I replied, my voice hollow. I remembered the very old car he traded in, a Lexus I had helped him buy. Jessica perched elegantly on the white leather sofa, her sapphire ring catching the light. Another piece I'd never seen before, another expense I had unknowingly funded. Big news, she said, swirling her wine. My firm landed the design contract for the new Fairmont Hotel downtown. It's huge, Dad. We're celebrating tonight. She lifted her glass in a mock toast. A toast financed by the life she stole from me. Dinner was a carefully choreographed performance. They asked about my week, but paid little attention to the answer. They spoke endlessly about their newest plans, renovating the kitchen, a summer trip to the Amalfi Coast, a private school for Leo. Every word was a reminder of their life of luxury, built from my life's labor. Midway through the meal, Jessica leaned forward with that soft, motherly tone she reserved for manipulation. "Dad, I've been reviewing your financial reports," she said. "The market's unsteady. I think it might be best if we move some of your aggressive investments into safer bonds. I just want to protect you. Protect me from the damage she herself had inflicted." Her suggestion wasn't a warning, it was a tightening of the noose. Sam's voice echoed in my mind. "Act normal. Do not let her know." I forced myself to take a slow sip of water. "That's very kind of you," I said. "I'm grateful you've taken on all of this. I don't know what I'd do without your help." Relief washed over her face, a small softening around the eyes. I had told her exactly I had told her exactly what she wanted to hear. That her grip on my life was still absolute. The rest of the dinner blurred past, a haze of polite nods and quiet smiles from me. Inside, each moment felt like walking barefoot across broken glass. Later, when I finally stepped back into my own quiet home, I felt the weight of the evening collapse onto my shoulders. But this time, the weight did not crush me. It shaped me. The next morning, the rising sun cast pale light across my kitchen. My home felt different, more fragile, more temporary, like a stage set waiting to be dismantled. I drove to Sam's office. His workspace was a fortress of order bookshelves lined with legal volumes, neat stacks of documents, and the smell of strong black coffee anchoring the room. Sam sat behind his desk, his expression grim. He wasn't alone. A young woman with sharp eyes and short dark hair sat beside him. She gave a curt nod when he introduced her. "This is Chloe," Sam said. "The best forensic accountant I know." She looked at me with calm intensity, not pity, not confusion, professional focus, precision. She opened a laptop. Numbers, charts, diagrams, my life, translated into data. "Mr. Miller," she said softly, "what's happening to you is not impulsive. It's systematic, planned, coordinated." She turned the laptop around. On the screen was a complex diagram, a map showing my accounts branching into shell corporations and those leading directly to high-risk investments. Jessica's fingerprints were all over it. Sam leaned forward, voice low and steady. "This isn't a mistake. This is a strategy." Then he outlined the counterattack, a plan crafted with the cold clarity of a general preparing for war. Phase 1. Covert information warfare. Chloe would track every dollar, every transfer, every hidden pathway. Sam would file subpoenas to get the original unedited records. And I would pretend to trust Jessica. I would be the confused father, the grieving widower, the man overwhelmed by modern finances. My role? I asked quietly. Sam's eyes met Mina. "Your job is to convince your daughter she still holds the leash." He paused, "and then we'll take it from her." Phase 2. The trap. The heart of Jessica's greed, the biggest prize, was my house. She expected to inherit it untouched. She depended on it for future security. So we would make her think it was in danger. I would accidentally leak to a notorious gossip that I was planning to sell the house and everything in it to move to a luxury retirement community in Arizona. This would terrify her, bring out her desperation, force her to act. And the moment she acted, we would collect the evidence. I listened, feeling something shift inside me, a click, almost mechanical, like a steel beam sliding into place. A structure forming. Jessica had used my trust as a weapon. Now, we would use her arrogance as the bait. The plan was simple in theory, but carrying it out felt like performing delicate surgery on my own life. Every word from my mouth had to be calculated, every expression deliberate. The first move came on a quiet Tuesday morning. At exactly 10 o'clock a time I knew would disrupt her work, I dialed Jessica. She answered on the second ring, her voice firm and mildly irritated. "Dad, is everything all right?" I let out a soft, practiced sigh. "Oh, sweetheart, I'm sorry to bother you. These insurance papers came in and, well, I can't make heads or tails of them. Beneficiaries, probate, your mother used to handle all of this." I let my voice trail off. adding a gentle tremor of confusion. The irritation in her voice faded instantly, replaced by a smooth, controlling sweetness. "Of course, Dad. Don't worry about it. Just leave everything on the table. I'll stop by later and sort it out for you." "You're a lifesaver," I murmured. "My head just isn't what it used to be." Her silence said everything. She believed it. That afternoon, she came by, organized the papers like a school teacher, tidying a child's homework, and prepared to leave. That was when I executed step 2. I patted my pockets, acting flustered. "Goodness, Jessica, I think I left my wallet in your car the other night." She sighed, amused, condescending. "It's fine, Dad, I'll check. Just be careful, okay?" When the door closed behind her, I felt a surge of bitter satisfaction. My real wallet sat in my back pocket. I had just given myself a perfect excuse to enter her home unannounced later. The main move, the rumor, happened 2 days later. I met my old friend Arthur Gable for lunch. Arthur was kind, loyal, and utterly incapable of keeping a secret. If gossip were oxygen, Arthur would never suffocate. We talked about old stories, aches, weather. Then, when he was comfortable, I dropped the line casually. "You know, Arthur, ever since Eleanor passed, this house feels too big, too empty." A friend of mine moved to a retirement place in Scottsdale. Pool, golf, fresh meals, new chores. Sounds peaceful. Arthur looked up, eyes widening. I continued gently. "I've been thinking maybe I should sell the house. Let someone else take on the burden. Move to the Sunday, what do you think?" He immediately promised to keep that to himself, which meant it would be all over town before dinner. That night, Chloe sent a secure update. Her findings chilled me. Jessica and Tom weren't just spending my money, they were drowning in a failing resort development in Mexico. Their desperation was growing. My remaining assets were the only thing keeping their collapsing investment alive. They didn't just want my house, they needed it. The phone rang at 6:15 p.m. "Jessica." I let it ring 3 times before answering, sounding tired and distant. "Dad?" she said, panic barely concealed. "Arthur called me. He said you're thinking about selling the house and moving to Arizona?" I hesitated, letting the moment stretch. "Oh, was I not supposed to mention that? We were just talking. The upkeep is becoming a lot." "Sell the house?" she whispered, horrified. "Dad, you can't. You just can't. The house is full of memories. Mom's garden, our holidays. How could you give that up?" The grief in her tone was a performance. The fear was not. I softened my voice. "I'm just tired, Jessie. Maybe it's time to simplify." "No," she snapped, then caught herself. "Dad, listen. We can hire gardeners, help, whatever you need. Just don't make any big decisions, okay? Promise me you won't call a realtor. Let me help." Help. She meant control. We ended the call with my vague promise to think about it. The trap had sprung. Now she was caught in it. 2 days later, she called again with oily sweetness. "Dad, Tom and I were in the neighborhood. We thought we'd stop by. We brought some portfolio projections that might help you understand the risks of selling." I agreed. I had an hour to prepare. I went to the mantelpiece and lifted a small decorative birdhouse Eleanor had cherished. Inside the hollow base, I secured the tiny recording device Sam had given me. A hidden witness. By the time they arrived, dressed like a wealthy power couple, they were ready for a performance. Jessica placed a heavy leather-bound folder on my coffee table. "Dad, selling right now would be a huge financial mistake," she said soothingly. "The market is cooling. You'd lose thousands, maybe more." Tom leaned in like a friendly advisor. "And we really don't want you to regret something so serious." I squinted at the pages, as if the charts were written in an alien language. "Oh my, it all looks so complex." "We'll help you," Jessica said, her voice dripping with concern. "Just let us handle everything, like always." They pushed numbers. They invoked Mom's memory. They layered guilt and manipulation with expert craftsmanship. But I was watching the edges of their smiles, the cracks. Finally, I stood up. "Let me make tea," I said softly. "This is a lot." As soon as the water began running in the kitchen, I slipped behind the wall, just out of sight, and their masks fell off instantly. Tom's voice was a frantic whisper. "You don't think he's serious, do you?" "Jess, the Mexico project is sinking. Investors are pulling out. We need that money. We needed it yesterday." Then Jessica's voice, sharp as a blade. "He won't sell. I won't allow it. He's more confused than I thought. This Arizona idea is ridiculous. But what if he calls a realtor?" Tom pressed. "What then?" Silence. Then we take the next step," Jessica said coldly. "I'll talk to Dr. Miller again. We'll get a stronger evaluation. The power of attorney isn't enough anymore. We need full conservatorship. That way he can't sell anything." My heart dropped. She wanted to declare me legally incompetent, erase my autonomy, steal what little remained, all under the guise of protecting the family. I nearly collapsed under the weight of her betrayal, but I forced myself to breathe. I made tea, placed it carefully on a tray, and returned to the living room with a smile. After they left, I retrieved the recorder from the birdhouse. I sat in my thinking chair, and I pressed play. Hearing my own daughter plot, my legal erasure shattered something inside me. But as the recording played again, my grief hardened into something else. Precision, focus, purpose. A blueprint forming. The next blow came a week later. Sam called. His voice was devoid of emotion. They filed it. I didn't need to ask what. "A petition for conservatorship," he said. "Jessica claims cognitive decline, erratic behavior, poor financial judgment." I barked out a humorless laugh. "Poor financial judgment? Because I mentioned selling the house?" "Yes," Sam replied. "She's using the very seed we planted as evidence of your incompetence. There were fake witnesses, a bought psychologist's statement, fabricated stories about my confused behavior." My tease weakened. For a moment, I feared we had lost. Then Sam gave a low, humorless chuckle. "Lost? David, this is exactly what we wanted." He blinked. "What?" "By filing this petition," Sam said, "she dragged her private crimes into a public courtroom. She thinks your competence is on trial, but in reality, she just put herself on trial." He paused. "She walked into the trap willingly." And just like that, the fear lifted, replaced by a cold, rising fire. I whispered, "So what do we do now?" Sam's answer was quiet. "We let her build her case, and then we pull it apart piece by piece." The courtroom battle was coming, and we would be ready. The weeks leading up to the hearing felt unreal, like I was living two different lives. In one, I watered my plants, read the newspaper, and took quiet morning walks. In the other, I was preparing to dismantle my own daughter in a court of law. Sam worked like a man possessed. Chloe sent constant encrypted updates, timelines, transfers, forged documents, shell companies. Every piece of evidence sharpened our case. Meanwhile, I had my court-appointed evaluation with Dr. Evelyn Reed. Her office smelled faintly of chamomile and old books. She asked about my life, my routines, my decisions. I answered plainly, honestly, because I had nothing to hide. When she closed her notebook after our final meeting, she looked at me with calm certainty. "Mr. Miller," she said, "you are exceptionally clear-minded. The choice to downsize your home is logical, not irrational. You are fully capable of managing your affairs." Her words were a quiet thunder, a truth that could not be bent. But the final key, the crack in Jessica's entire scheme, came unexpectedly. One evening, Chloe called Sam and me on speaker. Her voice was steady, but beneath it I sensed something darker. "I found something," she said. "Something I wasn't looking for." She explained how she reviewed Eleanor's old life insurance files for completeness. There should have been a trust set aside for Leo, our grandson, but there was a problem, a massive one. An amendment had been filed 3 weeks before Eleanor passed. The beneficiary had been changed from the Leo Miller Educational Trust to Jessica Miller. My breath caught. Chloe continued, voice tight. "The signature doesn't match Eleanor's natural strokes. It looks like a forgery." The world stopped moving. Forged? My dying wife's signature? On our grandson's future? Sam immediately called a handwriting expert, one of the best in the state. His eventual report was devastating. The signature was faked. Jessica hadn't just stolen from me. She robbed her own dying mother's last gift to her grandson. The terrible truth was now far darker than anything Sam had imagined. And it was in that moment I realized This wasn't greed anymore. This was something hollow, something cruel, something broken deep inside her. If the courtroom was silent. Solemn polished wood, high ceilings, the state seal looming above us like an unblinking eye. I sat with Sam. Jessica sat across the aisle with Tom. She looked like the picture-perfect daughter. Tailored outfit, soft makeup, a mask of concern. Her attorney went first. He painted a story of a grieving old man slipping into confusion, making unsafe choices, needing his loving daughter to save him from himself. He brought witnesses, people I had never met, who claimed I'd acted strangely at social gatherings. They painted me as a fragile, declining shadow. Sam let them build their castle of lies, brick by brick. When it was our turn, Sam rose slowly, calm, poised, a quiet force of nature. He didn't start with me. He called Dr. Reed to the stand. Her testimony landed like a clean blade. Mr. Miller is fully competent. His cognitive function is strong. His reasoning sound. There is no medical or psychological basis for a conservatorship. A ripple of murmurs passed through the courtroom. The first crack in Jessica's fortress. Then Sam called Chloe. For 45 minutes, she projected charts, transfers, financial trails. She explained how every dollar drained from my accounts synced perfectly with Jessica and Tom's purchases and investments. She broke down the shell company, the funneling to the Mexican resort project, the money laundering, the timelines, everything. Jessica's face turned ghost white. Tom stared at the floor, frozen. Then came the recording. My voice, pretending to be weary. Tom whispering about needing capital. And Jessica, my daughter, calmly planning to strip me of my rights. If I have to, I'll prove he's not mentally capable. We need full control. Gasps filled the courtroom. One woman covered her mouth. Jessica's mask shattered. Her face twisted first, shock, then horror. But it wasn't over. Sam saved the deadliest evidence for last. He called the handwriting expert. On the screen appeared the amendment to Eleanor's life insurance. The expert's voice was steady. This signature is forged. Then the next slide. The payout confirmation paid directly into Jessica's personal account. Then the final blow. A document from the state registrar. No Leo Miller Educational Trust had ever been filed. Jessica hadn't forgotten it. She had erased it. There was a long pause. Silence so heavy it felt like gravity itself had thickened. Jessica broke. Not softly, not gracefully. She collapsed into trembling sobs, her body folding in on itself, her hands covering her face. Tom looked sick, truly sick, as if seeing his wife for the first time. Her lawyer tried to steady her, but she sobbed violently, shaking, the weight of her own deceit crushing her completely. He sat still, not triumphant, not proud, just tired. So very tired. The judge finally spoke, her voice sharp and cold. The petition for conservatorship is denied. She turned her fierce gaze to Jessica. What I have witnessed today is a disturbing abuse of the court system, of fiduciary responsibility, and of family trust. Her ruling came like thunder. All known assets belonging to Jessica and Tom Miller are to be frozen effective immediately. And this matter is to be referred to the district attorney's office for criminal investigation. Jessica crumpled into her hands again. The war was over. Not with victory, not with joy, but with truth. Truth heavier than any weapon. A few months later, peace. Late spring, sunlight warmed my garden as I knelt in the soil Eleanor once loved. The roses were blooming again, bright, fragrant, reaching toward the sky. The storm had finally passed. The legal battles were behind me. Jessica and Tom faced consequences I never wished upon them, but ones they earned with their choices. The back door slid open. Grandpa? Leo walked toward me, older now, wiser in ways no child should ever have to be. He knelt beside me, eyes full of quiet questions he was too gentle to ask. I handed him a manila envelope. "What's this?" he asked. "Something your grandmother wanted you to have," I said. He opened it. His eyes widened. The Leo Miller Educational Trust. Restored, rebuilt, protected. "For your future," I whispered. Just like she wanted. His eyes filled with tears before he pulled me into a tight embrace. I closed my eyes. For the first time since Eleanor died, my heart felt still. Not empty, Not broken, just peaceful. The war had taken much from me, but in the end, I reclaimed my dignity. I honored my wife. I protected my grandson. I rebuilt myself. Piece by piece. Justice didn't roar. It whispered, in evidence, in patience, in truth that could not be silenced. And that quiet truth was enough.